now a memory. A burned out jungle. A ghost. Better days. Me and my brother control the same streets where we once played as kids. Had hoped for a different life. But times people change. From convent to St. Nick, the streets of the mind.
Radio, Sunday on the beat. Tell from the hill, from the hill, young. The fuck I need to sell a record. I went platinum on the block. Love the league in assists. How I'm passing off the rock. G-Pipe scheming on the bitch. I'm blasting at the ops. I turned the hill into a mountain. I'm just laughing at the top. I'm inspiration. I'm influential. I'm influential on an instrumental. Yeah, I'm sick. My credentials. The president. I get you wiped off the memo. Let it fly at the venue like Sean did. Yeah, I did the time, but look at what the time did. Manifestation, yeah. Look at what the mind did. Can't rush greatness, but look at what the grind did. More wins than losses. We all kings and bosses. Yeah, I did my dirt and my name ain't got a stain and tarnish. Underground and major artists, I'ma do my thing regardless. This game is filled with weirdos. Yeah, I respect fashion, but I would never wear those. Rhymes and weird flows, statues and scarecrows. Man, that trash ain't worth the wax in my earlobes. This is tell from the hill, I can tell from the hill. You was barely in the field. Acting like you that boy in your hood, and you moving weight till they catch you in traffic like Trey and get you for that plate. Many boroughs, city, or state. Yeah, I run through them all. Tools in the work in the trunk. This my company car. It's the globe trapper, the known scrapper, the dome slapper, the chrome packer, the home tapper, the home thrasher,
what else?
The flow master, the throat slasher, the toe tagger,
what else?
The low copper, the bishop 40, the low rocker, the grand chopper, the showstopper, the loud smoker, the businessman, built the brand, the proud owner.
Wow.
It's been a big deal since I was a kid still. Fucking up, bullies swerving off in my big wheel. Nigga tried to swing, I duck, hit him with the windmill. Spin him like a pinwheel, like little nigga shit. Tell from the hill, I can tell from the hill, you was barely in the field. Tell from the hill, I can tell from the hill, you was barely in the field.
A little quick warm up, listening to my Moor radio, produced by Sunday Bay. Queens and Harlem.
I think in all fairness, you should expose you exactly what it is that I do. For instance, tomorrow morning I'll get up nice early, take a walk and see, if you don't have my money for me, I'll crack your fucking head wide open in front of everybody. And just about the time that I'm coming out of jail, hopefully you'll be coming out of the coma. And guess what?
About to start at the God Hour.
Tales from the hill, when I could tell from the hills, you was barely in the field. I put the metal in your grill like some braces. And the cops never catch us, but they still like to chase us. Ain't no witnesses for cases, hidden faces. Written statements won't make it to the station. You wonder why the OGs never embraced us. It's all gang till you chained on that state bus. Big difference between rich and poor. I seen friends kill friends to be as rich as Poe. Little do niggas know, the same way you come in is the same way niggas go. Gotta learn to switch lanes and take a different road, cause niggas will lead you into the fog where the vision's low. It's not the NBA or the studio, spitting flows. I'm running plays on the block, picking rolls and giving goals. I let the shotty remove your features. That's what happens when you take my kindness for weakness. Thought it was a game till he was fine behind the bleachers. Boys tried to wrap me up in it, I was speechless. If you talking about peace, I've been trapping. Same thing I do on these beats. I've been slapping, can't be serious. I'm too intricate. I refuse to dumb down for these idiots. You gon' remember this, I need your attention, undivided. A little nigga in the world full of giants. I was self-reliant. And I can't believe your actions, cause your words ain't reliable. It's only to yourself you're lying. So who's lying? So why would I sign with you? You say I'm limited, but only to my company I'm liable. They need to fire whoever hired you. And don't invite me to the booth if it's not fired. Fuck wrong, nigga. Don't do that. Radio, nigga. Sunday on the beat. Tell from hell. Nigga still sleeping. Wake the fuck up. Tell them over the face like a mother. Tell from the hell, I can tell from the hell. Tell from the hell, I can tell you. Tell from the hell, I can tell from the hell. Tell from the hell, I can tell you. Yeah, Lord Murk the Cannon. Represent one time. South Bronx, Mitchell, My Haven, Millbrook. Happy holy day. Hey yo, this the one right here. Hi, I'm still beefing with the Moors. Still fuck. Lord Murk the Cannon with the butt and the smoke face. Fuck Cujo, you can suck a dick and your niggas soft. Ran out off vacation, you offended? Set it off. Right, I be on 2/5 like I'm Malcolm X. In the Fillmore, smoking blunts like it's 86. Shot-town, I sell knives and pitchforks and TV. Philly niggas love me since my rhymes was on CDs. Niggas lying, saying that y'all lying and forgot the dandy. You need to slow down on the coat and try to stick to brandy. Cause I talk like 50 Cent and really built like Brandy. I smack the Ray J out y'all niggas trying to cook our dad. Got some culture vultures. And I don't fuck with birds. Heard I got a vocal culture, but y'all fucking up the words. I say the prayer wrong. You quote the prophet in versus be whack when you laying songs. Islam, more happy only day was cracking, said the low crack. East side with the homies say. Studying up my 48 laws. For these niggas for the law. Put me on the first 48. Islam, more happy holy day was cracking, said the low crack. East side with the homies say. Studying up my 48 laws. For these niggas for the law. Put me on the first 48. The 85 you got with you, them niggas play along. Really, they be tight every time you trying to play a song. And why y'all niggas stop saying that y'all sovereign, huh? What happened? You niggas still sovereign? Nah, I'm still listening. But y'all niggas say y'all not citizens. And why that squirrel nigga supposed to bail if he's so militant? And y'all be having sexy bitches getting knocked. Get one of my sisters like you getting shot. But some of y'all need to get your turban knocked. Shut the fuck up, go back to for CPS. You sent Todd your text, but claim you ain't read it yet. You said you need a rent, bitch, you need EMS. 3 months late on your rent, you worried about EMS. I'm just telling you cause I'm that nigga. You need a good Moorish man in your life. For these niggas scored a law and put me on the first 48. I had to spaz. Could've filmed this shit from the Alcatraz. Or could've filmed it in the hood right on Calabar. I woke niggas up cause they got it sleepy. And thought that I would let it go. Well, I ain't know they was trying to sneak me. As far as I'm concerned, I think these niggas kinda creepy. Always take the time to threaten me, but don't make time to meet me. You on my YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. But won't face the truth, me and combat on Facebook. I face blunts and go to sleep knowing I handle like. Till I got a white bitch that hold me down like Vanna White. I pat myself on the back and don't say jack. Until I tell that bitch don't say back. I'm your favorite hood monster. Used to be a good monster. You always try to fuck my bitch. She be like, I'm good monster. I just want some good gossip. But I got some good gossip. Lord Murk the Cannon.
Slime Moor.
Ooh. Ooh.
Slime Moor, you ready?
Islam, I'm ready. You ready? We ready?
All right, let's get it popping. Get it popping, more. All right. Islam to everybody. We about to get started. You now tune into another episode. You've just been listening to some tunes that Lord Murk-el has been playing, and we about to get started. So, without further ado, I want to start by first saying peace to the family, Islam to the family out there. I got Lady Niche, Islam, and so we have a special guest. This brother here has been putting in work for a while, and I want to introduce him to some of you. Some of you are already familiar with him, so he's going to reintroduce himself. And without further ado, I'm going to open up the floor to the Moor. Brother, if you could just introduce yourself. Islam.
In the nature and power of Allah, the master of spiritual insight and perceivable truth. First I rise to give all praises due to Allah, and I give honor to the holy and illustrious Prophet Noble Ali, the savior of humanity, and the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and the Moorish Divine Movement in North America. I want to give honor to all the disciples, apostles, all the priests, all the scholars, all the workers, all the laborers doing their part in uplifting fallen humanity. So I want to give honor to all those who honor man, because when they honor man, they honor Allah. And I want to give honor to everything pertaining to Islam, which means peace. Islam means peace. Islam,
Peace, more. And
real
so,
quick, I see we at the 58, so we don't mind, since we still got some time. Do you mind? Can we rise and face the east right quick?
Absolutely, more. It's only right.
And we could rise and face the east. If you don't know where east is, the sun should be set in any part of the country you in. Just look at what direction the sun going. You know what I'm saying, right? And then look the opposite direction. You dig? All right. So we going. we going stand in a 45-degree angle each foot, making a 90-degree angle, and then we gonna raise both of our arms, put 5 fingers on the left, and then just 2 fingers on the right. And then, if you don't mind, repeat the Moorish American prayer after me. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Peace.
Freedom. And justice.
Allah
is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide. And my salvation. By night. And by day. Through his holy prophet. Drew Ali. Amen.
Islam more. You want to show Islam? I was about to say.
Islam, yeah, of course. But the more is back in action, we here.
Islam.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And I still got it too, you heard? Yeah. So let's go. Yo, I'm Lord Murk-el. So I'm from Harlem in the South Bronx, New York. And basically I'm a teacher of practical Moorish science, the Moorish nationality and its principles. I'm not really a religious teacher, but I teach the mundane aspects of Moorish nationality, and I have been doing so for quite some time. Since 2012, since around 2013 in front of the camera. I used to have a show called What's Your Nationality, where I would approach people who would deem themselves leaders of the so-called Black community, and I would quickly ask them, hey, what's your nationality? Because, we have a lot of people who say that they, Black, but it's like, okay, well, Black is ambiguous. We need to know who you are, where you come from. So we want to know your nationality. And, I got all different type of responses from different people, but, praise Allah, I was able to use that as a learning experience for me, as well as for other people. And I've made those videos in order to motivate the Moors to go out and be more, be in front of the camera more, be in the streets more, be seen more, so that the science could be recognized, and we can proclaim our nationality, and even have other people feel more, other Moors feel more comfortable proclaiming their nationality, and showing that there's a pride in proclaiming your nationality. Saying that you should love to do it, and you should do it often. So my mission, I find that my mission was accomplished. Over time, I've met people who were moved by the words and by my movements, and have found themselves in different parts of the Moorish Divine Movement. I'm doing the same, just not like in front of the camera, but I'm always proclaiming my nationality and trying to bring about that knowledge that Negroes, Blacks, colored folk, African Americans, descendants of slavery, or freed people, or none of that. I'm saying that we got a nationality, we got a divine creed, we got customs, we got traditions, we got historic continuity, we got a flag, we have all these things that make us unique, and all we have to do is honor our ancestors. Yeah, so that's really what I'm about. Long story short, as far as the Moorish movement is concerned.
Islam, indeed. I always like to ask brothers and sisters who come on, who are part of this movement, their origins into coming into these teachings. So, with you, how did you first come into the knowledge of Prophet Noble Drew Ali and Moorish science?
All right, so I'm trying to make a long story not too long. So I was like 17 at first, and I had an engineer who was because I rap. So the engineer, he had told me something about Moors, but he said, then he asked me, if I knew about God, and then he asked me, to look up in the sky. He pointed at a moon and a star, and he said, "Do you know what that means?" And I was like, "Nah, I don't have no clue what I'm looking at. It looked just like a moon." And he said, "All right, when you can tell me what that means, I'll start teaching you a little something." And I had no clue what that meant, man. And I'm having a conversation with my stepfather about Moors, and he points to a book. He said, "You know what? I was just reading about a group of Black people who used to run the world." And he pointed to a book by Alvin Van Sertima called Golden Age of the Moors. I was like young, I didn't care at the time. I seen it, I was like, I thought that was cool, whatever. Fast forward, I'm getting threatened in my projects to learn about supreme mathematics and all that. So, I started with learning, basically learning that the Black man is God. I'm saying knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and Allah, born, seed, divine. Just like, but it was like, the really slow pace. I just started to learn how to fast and all that. I ain't, but I wasn't really into no type of like Islam like that. I was still like, I was still trying to come into the knowledge, but nobody around me really was teaching me. So fast forward again to, I meet this, I meet my engineer again because we had lost contact, and he's like, "Oh, you know a little something." So he lift up his shirt, right? He lift up his shirt, and this dude got a tattoo. Like, instead of Thug Life, it's like ISLAM with the symbols of ourself, law, and master. If you're familiar with the Clock of Destiny or the Great Sip. So I was like, yo, that is wild dope. What does that mean? So, I lost contact with him again, and but he taught me a little, like very, very, very little more stuff. Like a few years later, I meet another Moor who tells me about when I see those symbols, I'm like, man, I think I've seen those symbols somewhere before. And he's like, yo, you look smart. Don't you know that you're a Moor? I'm like, a Moor? The fuck is that? What are you talking about? And so he come from, so he like, I was on 145th and 8th at the official seafood spot, you know what I'm saying, when it was up there still. And he leave and come outside and we start building. He gave me his number. So he teach me a little bit. He teach me for like 2 months. And then he sent me to a class that Taj Tariq Bey was teaching at in Harlem. So I go over there, and I sat in the front center, and I'm gonna skip the part. I'm gonna skip mad parts, but basically, I just started going there, and meeting mad different Moors. So, while I'm in the now I got my fez, I'm wearing my fez. I'm mad proud. I know my nationality. So, I'm meeting people, and one of the people who I'm meeting is Messiah Bang. So Messiah Bang was one of my teachers. He saved me from a lot of foolishness because he taught me how to. He taught me how to read again, because it was like I was learning how to read the law books and like state law and like CPL laws, and it was just like it was just like a different way of thinking, because I wanted to really learn like how cities function and municipalities and the law, and really be like a real civilian, like really like a citizen that knows the law. Feel me? So that was good for a little bit. After meeting him, and like he kind of set me straight. Then I was meeting different Moors, who was like just on a different type of time. So Matik, so I'll keep it 100. My first time going to the temple, because they was in, people was always talking bad about the temple, and I was like, man, if they Moors, they can't be that bad. So I walked in there 21, and we had like a bad, we had a bad vibe, the first time. But I was like, I said, yo, let me fall back. And at the time, I was mad young. So when I pulled up, it was like not really with the right and exact energy. You feel me? So, the next time I went into a temple, it was a little lack more. It was during the Prophet's birthday, but the vibe was a little different. It was, I'm gonna keep it 100. It wasn't as militant. Feel me? So, and it wasn't as abrasive or whatever. So, word is born. It happened like this. I was celebrating the Prophet's birthday, like I always do. Even before I was a member of the temple, I was celebrating the Prophet's birthday like 3 years before that, like 3 years before that. So, I was in the Bronx, I was in Harlem, I went to Brooklyn, and I was with my man Matik El Shabazz, and I was with Shaquan Lovallah, and I was with another cat, I don't remember right now. And anyway, Matik is a funny dude. Let me tell you how the God did. He from where we was at, took me all the way to the temple, got me to the temple gate, and he said, yo, God, that's the temple. Go ahead. You know what? This is where you belong. And I was like, all right. So I'm thinking he right behind me. So my man, so I'm like hesitating, because I'm like, last time I went into a temple, you know what I'm saying? So Shaquan, he's like, yo, you bugging. These ones is mad cool. You bugging out. Pull up. So he like kind of like, tugged me in. So almost walks me into 34, right? So I walk into Temple 34. And that was really like the first time I felt like I was introduced to the Prophet Noor Ali. Because before that, people was just talking about him. But, when I walked in, I seen mad Moorish Americans, like dressed like Moorish Americans. I mean, I walked in and, there was like different pockets of Quranic conversations that I didn't understand at the time. Like, they was dressed in Moorish habit, like ancient Egyptians and Moor, and like ancient Moors. Like, it was crazy. They had like the robes and the capes, but it wasn't like, but everybody's look was like dead serious. Like, this was not like, when I seen them, it was like, yo, son, it was OD surreal, right? And then come Brother Clendenin. He pulls up and he's like, hey, good evening. Welcome to the Moorish Science Temple of America. I'm Walter. Pleasure to meet you. And I was like, whoa, like I was like my first time meeting a Moor with a regular name. Like, all these Moors always have some crazy, extra stupid, dumb long name, you know what I'm saying? And just to me, like, and I was like I was like, whoa. And they was like cordial, it was respectful. And then when I took measure of the room, and I was like, yo, I was like, man, grown men in here, feel me? And I started meeting the different members, and then there was children in there too, you know what I'm saying? Just like little Moors. And I was like, yo, even the babies is on the science. Yo, that's crazy. And I was like, you know what? Ain't no way these ones is really like that. This gotta be a one-off. It's gotta be a one-off chance. So the Moors invited me to come through that Friday. And word is born out there. And I came every Sunday with different questions, trying to smoke them. That's word. I was trying to smoke them. I was trying to smoke fire out there. I was like, yo, y'all can't be like that. It's impossible. And word, I had questions and they satisfied my desire to, learn. And they gave me books, they gave me reference material, they told me where I could go study for myself. And they was open, they was really consistent in like about Prophet Noble Ali and the lessons, and down to how you walk in the temple, not paraphrasing but saying verbatim, the demonstrations on how they taught the Quran was just, it was like something I never seen before. And I had been through all, I had already seen like different type of Christian societies and the Israelites and all these other cats, but I was like, yo, the way they dropping lessons, it's like, to me, it was almost like, not to be disrespectful or nothing to nobody, but like all the 5%ers around me was like young. We was young. So it was like being around grown up 5%ers. And it was like, whoa, like, because when they not in front of the podium, like they talking and, the way they just, I was just like, yo, I it's worth to my mother. I felt the spirit of the prophet in there. Like I felt like, yo, you know what? Like not on no spooky, not on no spooky shit. Like if he was to walk in right now, like his spirit, feel me, through, the original, because the original man. You know what I'm saying, we be sharing. Going into deep science, we be sharing experiences. I forget the word escapes me right now, but he would be pleased. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I feel like those people who like how he said, like those who was with me, 2,000 years ago, they with me today. It's like those who was with him today, when he walked in that space, they would have been pleased. And so for me, that's like, whoa, that was like, for me, that was like my first introduction to the like Prophet Noble Ali. Then these Moors took me to Philadelphia. Forget it, bro. Yo, like I thought I was a hardcore Moor. I was like, I'm not on nothing. Like I saw a Moor whose tassel was red because that's how often he wore his fez. And I thought I was wearing my fez a lot. And I was like, yo, like, and it was so great to be around people who, when you asked them a question, they didn't run you around in circles. They would just say, I don't know, if they didn't know, or they were going to the lessons that they got. So yeah, my fault. That was a short story, but that's how I got introduced. And I'm saying my man from the streets, a 5%er, Atik El Shabazz, and I'm saying, because Messiah didn't walk me in the temple. He didn't want to walk me in it. He just told me, read the Quran, and he used to always tell me, go to temple. And he said, go to 21 because you need some discipline. And I was like, no, I'm not jacking that. But Matik literally took me from one part where we was at. I think we was in like Brownsville, or we was like in Bushwick or something. He took me all the way to Bed-Stuy, to the door, to the gate. And I swore he was right behind me. When I turned around, he was gone, bro.
Look,
I stayed there till like 12:30, 1 o'clock.
See, that was for you. That was for you, Mo. Like, so praise Allah. That's a beautiful story, because we don't often hear enough of when people go through their journey, and you didn't go directly to the temple. And we know a lot of Moors don't go directly into the temple as far as their first introduction into Moor science, myself included. But the fact that you had brothers around you who thought enough of you to say, yo, he need to go to the temple. You know what I'm saying? Like, the temple will be right for him. Praise Allah for that. So that's a beautiful story, man.
Right. I remember when the God used to say it too, like right the year prior, he's like, yo, God, I'm not gonna front. You need to go to temple. I was like, yo, so you tripping, B? You need to go to temple. And he's like, yo, you know what? You talk a lot. And he say, yo, pull up. He brought me to a spot in the apartment I ain't been in before. He had different, mad, whatever. So in that apartment, whatever, you know what I'm saying? He started pulling out mad stuff, right? And he was like, here, you see this? And yo, he showed me where this born, he showed me something that looked like it could have been older than me. And he was like, that's what I'm trying to tell you, God. Because I wouldn't tell you go nowhere I ain't go to. That's why at the time when I was telling people go to temples, because I was there, I vetted them. I felt like I had vetted them out. You know what I'm saying? Enough to know, like, if you're a neophyte and you got, like, if you went over there and you wasn't satisfied with the answers, it's because you fronting.
Right.
But then, also, I didn't peep at the time, I also had 2 years of training. Not training, but I had a good year and change of training from Messiah and the Clock of Destiny. So, a lot of things that may go over the average person's head. For me, I was like, how can't you get this? Because he was older than me. But, you 20 years old, 2 Clock of Destiny, 1 and 2 in your hand, you might as well be holding 2 miniguns, you know what I'm saying? You might as well, you might as well be the Terminator, so you got
right.
one, and then, Messiah hit me with some other stuff. So it was crazy, like, because now I'm going into, like, Moorish lessons on Yaku. That was crazy for me, and I, like, my whole 20s, I'm not even mad at racism because I understand what's going on. I understand why y'all got to move like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not even mad at y'all because you know what? Yeah, we definitely need to learn to love instead of hate, son.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want to say I've never met the brother Messiah Bey, but I got to give him mine because I saw a video a long time ago, and it was the first time I ever heard any more break down the William Dungy case with Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah, son.
You know what I'm saying? I saw him break that down. I was like, yo, I've never heard that before. And I looked at bad boy, yo, I was done. I was like, yo, that's another, you know what I'm saying? Another thing in the chamber to use. And he's sharp. That brother's sharp.
Bro, I used to wake up to stuff like that every day, son. Like, he used to, like, it's on, Moor, wake up, fuck out of here. You know what time it is? Like, it's nation time. I say something smart, he'll laugh, you know what I'm saying? Open the door on me and just throw a book on my bed or throw a book at me, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what you doing? You be all right, you young, you'll live. And I get to reading that book, son. And he's like, did you find anything interesting in there? And I said yes or no. One time I came back and I said nah. And he said, me neither. I thought you might. But keep me sharp, keep me reading, and always learning something new. So, like, and he used to always test me. Always, question me and make sure that I knew what I was talking about. Like, real boot camp. Like, I know that more how to still do, but I know that more at the time, that was a heavy demonstration of love. Very appreciative and grateful for it to this.
Indeed. That's peace. Now, with all that you learned, just coming into it, what was it about the prophet? What was some of the things? Because today is a special day, and we want to get into that May 1st. But what is it that you love most about the teachings of Prophet Noble Drew Ali?
When I was in the temple, I'm gonna keep it 100. Before I joined the temple, like, I was just gonna try to take over the world. I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, I was just gonna try to take over the world. So, ain't nobody doing nothing right anyway. So, let me do it. And when I first read Prophet Noble Drew Ali's words, for real, like, I went through the humanity pamphlet, and like when I was in temple and they was reading like the stuff that he wrote, and I was like, yo, this is exactly what I'm saying. Like, my favorite part of the lessons ultimately was that they was like, these was the thoughts that I already had but didn't have the vocabulary or experienced or articulate as a young man. Which is basically, to have race pride and love your race. To be able to identify your higher and lower self. That Allah and man are one. That unity is key. Together we stand in strength. And, the 5 principles, I was already with that. Anybody who knew me, I was with that. But, like, it is a different tone that it was being expressed. Like, it's a different love. It's a universal truth. It's a ubiquitous, everlasting peace. A conscientious and considerate freedom. And equity with justice. Those. I've never been around principled men before, and not to say that I was, because I wasn't. Keeping 100 with you most of the time, but the idea of being a principled man, it reminded me of the animes that I grew up watching. I'm saying, and the superheroes. I'm saying, and I was always like, yo, when I grow up, that's what I want to be. So, when I was selling crack in the Bronx, I was like, yo, son, it's not superhero shit, son. Like, come on, B. Come on, I gotta find. I gotta find something. You dig? And so, when I read those words, I was like, shh. In the Moorish literature, the things that he, how he wrote, I was just like, like the Clock of Destiny was just raw information. I'm saying straight facts, but what sparks nations is ideas and philosophies. That's what sparked America. And I'm saying America is born out of the idea and philosophies, men and women philosophizing about what could be, and that's the possibilities of man. You dig? So, just keeping that in mind. I was just like, yeah, Prophet would draw a leech on me, superhero. Sign me up. If you have race pride and love your race, then join the Moorish Science Temple of America, because then you will be. But I was like, man, you don't even got to say the rest. I'm good, B. Where's the application, B? What are you talking about? Son, I was lit.
Absolutely. That's it right there, man. That's the call. All ye Asiatics, man. That's it right there.
I was lit, son. I was like, yo, anybody who didn't hear that, if you have race pride and love your race, say no more, son. Bugging.
For real. What Toka World's story? Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. That's right. Absolutely. That's what it's about. Those principles, indeed. Yeah. So with that, it's important that those who are listening to what you're saying know that the fact that you spoke about that degree of love, that love divine that the prophet taught about, that you can't really get into. It's not that it can't be found other places, but what the prophet set up, with this movement, Moorish Divine National Movement, is one of the few places where you can truly learn that, if you're truly willing to apply it, because man has a will to choose.
You're not going to learn it from men.
True.
You're going to learn it from Allah.
Learn from Allah.
You know what I'm saying? And so if you're looking for somewhere for people to teach you how to learn to love instead of hate, that's something that, you really got to look within yourself. Because when you're putting yourself around people that's doing that, they going to want to look out for you the way I look out for myself. There's been times, man, I want to do something, and, I'm like, shit, man. Islam, you know what I'm saying? I call Brooklyn man. I say, yo, you know what, man? Let me keep it 100. I don't even know why I'm telling you this. I can't really get into specifics, but, basically I want to do this and that. And he's like, Islam, I need you to do this. And he walked me through. Is that your highest self or is that your lowest self? Okay. And what lesson of the Quran is that in? And so, he's appealing to, me always being on my studies and my lessons. So I'm like, I'm going in. And I'm like, all right, that'll be, over here. And, by doing that, I got to be able to do that with myself. So now, and I'm going about, my daily. It's a lot easier for me to, be in my lessons because, I was in an atmosphere where I felt safe enough to say, you know what, before I go, because they giving out bags. You know what I'm saying? There's always room in the graveyard. So to be able to have that resource, that human resource, you know what I'm saying, call on somebody that has love for you, that loves you. It's rare.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely more. And I want to just read from my Moorish Holy Quran, and I just want to read this section on chapter 3, Elihu's Lessons, the Unity of Life, verse 3. I'm starting. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they will love, and not the man love in return. They will not do to other men what they would not have other men do unto them. There are two selves, the higher self and lower self. The higher self is human spirit clothed with soul, made in the form of Allah. The lower self, the carnal self, the body of desires, is a reflection of the higher self, distorted by the murky ethers of the flesh. The lower self is an illusion and will pass away. The higher self is Allah in man and will not pass away. Islam. So, that's just a testament to just that section right there speaks volumes as to the depths of where it can go with what Prophet Noble Ali taught. As we mentioned before, today is a powerful day, May 1st. May 1st, 1913 marks an important point in time with the founding of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Moorish Divine National Movement. I know you got your records, you know what I'm saying? I know you're gonna demonstrate and do your thing. I got mine as well, but I also wanna read real quick and then I'm gonna pass it on to you, brother, to exercise your 5 from this book right here, Moorish American Apologetics. And it speaks about May 1st, specifically when it speaks about future planning of the Moors coming together. And I'm just going to read the short section and I'll just, ask for your measure. It says, establish a standard, recognizable, and nationally accepted history of the Moorish movement from May 13th to December 1929. This is a call to our historians to come together to establish and verify the proposed historical timeline by establishing clear lines of distinction between historical fact and single-minded, self-gratifying tribal recollections. As a nation of people, it is very important that we have a clear understanding of our history. For example, Moorish history between May 1st, 1913 and September 30th, 1929 should be a single history. This history should be known and shared by us all. So I'll just stop there. But just speaking on what May 1st means to you and your measure, and why you see what do you see in this as far as the importance of this day?
The importance of this day came in a few ways to me, because I had to kind of figure it out for myself. Because when I figured it out for myself. Nobody told me, hey, do you know it's Founders Day? What's Founders Day? Oh, well, Founders Day is the day that Noble Drew Ali founded it. Nobody said that to me. I was bored. When I get bored, I get money while I study. So I was studying. And I was going through my questionnaire right quick. And I started to study, the cover. And then one day I'm just like, and I'm looking at the seal, and I'm like, I wonder what that says. And it was kind of light. So I went to my Quran. Because I know he got the same seals. So I'm going, I'm like, And I'm going, ooh, okay, seal incorporated, November 29th, 1926. And I'm like, I know that seal. I've seen the seal in the field of my documents already. So I'm like, but this got an actual circle 7 on it. You know what I'm saying? So like when they call this a circle 7, but this not a circle. You know what I'm saying? It's a master seal. It's the astrological symbol for sun. It's not a circle. A circle don't got open ends like that. That's whatever. So, you know what I'm saying? No disrespecting nobody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to diss nobody or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But whatever. So this seal was a circle, like this was like actual circle, like a real spectre. You know what I'm saying? Like not a it's not arguably a circle, you know what I'm saying? And then the crescent moon and star, I was like, yo, that's just I was like, yo, that's a special, you know what I'm saying? So I'm looking, I'm like, yo, what does this say? And I got a wild bad vision, so I'm just like really going in there, and I'm like, yo, like I'm almost eating the book, and I'm just reading it, and then it was like founded May 1st, 1913. I'm like, yo, and I was like, son, why nobody told me? That's like a whole holiday, right? So immediately I get on my phone, right? Call Moor, he ain't pick up. I'm like, all right, bet. Call Islam. So it's on, yo, you know what May 1st is? It's like, I don't fucking know. What is it? I'm like, yo, Islam, yo, for real? He's like, Moor, I don't know. Come on, hurry up. Tell me. I'm like, all right. Yo, I'm reading on, yo, the seal right here say, yo, that the Moorish Divine Movement in North America was founded May 1st. He was like, what? Get the fuck out of here. I'm like, yo, you got a Quran on you? He's like, nah, it's not on me. I'm like, yo, when you get to the crib, son, yo, go check that, B. So now I'm calling Mad Moore. So yo, it's on, yo, you know what's up with May 1st? And no, like nobody knows. Nobody's like, giving me no feedback. I'm like, yo, what's up? So you know what I'm saying? I'll call the G. I said quick. I'm like, yo, it's on, yo, you know what's up with May 1st? He's like, nah. I'm like, yo, look on the seal right quick. You see the seal? And he's like, yo, I know you got your lit on you, right? And all my green sheiks, they always got their lid on them all the time. You feel me? They always got their lid on them, so they be lit. So he's looking, he's like, that's very interesting. I'm gonna get back to you. So I'm like, I bet. So I'm going through, none of them, all the Moors is like, yo, son, how you figure this out? And then they looking online, trying to find it online. They can't find it online. I'm like, yo, son, you can't find everything online. But, I be getting my stuff from the temple, feel me? I'm not getting it from, from the internet. I've never been on internet more. I'm from the street. So if there was no physical temple in my hood, in my neighborhood, I would never have been jacking that. Because I'm like, nah, y'all not even in my hood. What you talking about? Feel me? Brooklyn is not even my hood, but it's in relation. You dig? Like, it's relatable distance. So, feel me? But I was really going because there was Moors in Harlem, feel me? So Brooklyn is right there because I was going everywhere for more science. So it was like, yo, Brooklyn is like, stone. But other than that, like, if you wasn't in my hood, it'd be a dead issue. And so that's what I'm saying. Like, so because a lot of Moors, they wasn't really like into going to the temples and all that, wherever they was getting their info from, they wasn't able to get no information like that. But I'm in the temple, like I'm in the temple. I'm with the Moors. I'm with the Moors. You got the there's Moors, but I'm with the Moorish Americans. You know what I'm saying? The history, the historic continuity of the Moorish Science Temple of America. For me, and I'm not trying to speak for them or whatever. And I'm just saying, these guys is like 50, 60, and people who's, like Brother Rockman Bey was like almost 80 years old. You feel me? Like,
right, generation.
Come on, son. Like, when Brother Rockman Bey used to build, son, like, yo, like, he used to, like, open different portals, and then he'd be like, and say, my bad. Yo, you was okay? And I was like, nah, I'm good. I'm keeping up. Yo, I'll be with the gods. He was like, oh, yeah, that's right. And then he just started going harder, feel me? And, right. These cats who was like, they've been dealing with the science since they 20s. So these are people who've been dealing with more science 60 years.
Yes.
Feel me? When you go out there in Philly, you talking about people who've been living in more science their whole life. You dig? So, New York, in the streets, and we going project to project, ghetto to ghetto, we get whatever information we can from wherever was accessible. What's accessible, they would never talk about the founding of the Moorish Science Temple of America or the founding of the Moorish Divine Movement in North America, because that's not making money. They're not talking about the profit, because you can't make a profit off of the profit.
Right. Absolutely.
So since the movement they not moving with the movement, so they not teaching the movement, so it's not widely known. But I know Brother Rockman Bay would have been like, come on, Moor. Feel me?
Right.
I know more like Brother Rockman, so that's what I'm saying. Like, that date is so important, because I'm thinking, well, if it wasn't for May 1st, 1913 in Newark, New Jersey, what would I be doing right now?
Exactly.
What would the Nation of Islam have been like? Would they been one? What about the 5%ers? What hip hop would it look like?
Yeah.
When all them Spanish cats was coming through, fucking us up in jail, what was we gonna be blood or not? What we was gonna do? Was we gonna have a red flag? Were we getting a 5-point star from? What about the Black Panthers and shit? You know what I'm saying? They would have been, they would have, when it did what they was doing, if there was no Moorish Science Temple of America to show that original people could do what we do, what about Jesse Bingham? What about Oscar Dupreece? Feel me? Like, would that have happened? Jesse Bingham is a very important character in so-called African American history. You know what I'm saying? In Moorish American history, he was the first Moorish American, so-called African American, have a bank. You know what I'm saying? Post-colonization here in the United States of America. You dig? Like, that's, stuff like that is important. I think it's important. I mean, if you're into, if before you knew you was a Moor, you was into Black history, or if you don't know you were Moor and you're into Black history, then you should be very interested in what the brother said. May 1st, 1913, and July 29, 1929. This should be a very important, facet of your historical research.
Yeah, definitely. And I like the fact that you brought that point. If there was not that establishment on that day, which we're commemorating today, which is May 1st, what would you have said? Would these other movements have even existed? Would a lot of things have even existed? Because, like you said, Jesse Bingham, Oscar Dupreece, like, a lot of history was made by way of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's a fact, and so it's almost like the best kept secret kind of, where, like you said, they can't make a profit off of the profit, so they don't speak on it, and I think that's important, that we should be able to, those of us who know, should be able to reveal that. So I appreciate you mentioning that.
That's basically our Independence Day.
Yes.
We should be lighting all type of red and green fireworks, because the Mexicans about to do their thing in a few days. You know what I'm saying? And the Irish and German and all these other type of Americans, you know what I'm saying, the so-called Negroes who are Moorish Americans, who are referred to as Negro, Black, Colored, Indian, West Indian, so-called white and Jew, they're gonna be doing the July 4th thing. You know what I'm saying? But we should be celebrating May 1st, because May 1st, that was when we began to teach again here. Hey, you know what? We not Negroes, Colors, Blacks, or Ethiopia. We got a nationality. And the cold thing is, he started teaching from the Bible first.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the cold thing. He was like, yo, you're like, oh, you trying to enslave me with this? Watch how cold I get you. Since you think you tough. Since you think you so big and bad. I'm going to use the same thing that you gave me, and I'm going to teach. Because if you got lessons, you know that Jesus teaches was not Christianity. It was freedom, justice, and equality. And that's why when you go, it goes, these lessons are for those who love Jesus. The prophet knew what he was doing, knew what he was talking to in 1913. He knew who he was talking to and how to talk to them in 1913. So it's like, the questioning, I think people forget, this says, it says Quran questions for Moorish Americans. And then, you know, right here it says Quran questions for Moorish children. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Cool. This was Moorish. What year was the Moorish Science Temple of America founded? 1913. That's nice. Okay, it's good that a child can answer that. An adult should be able to tell you what day. An adult should be able to tell you 1 month and day. You know what I'm saying? Because there's ones out there who's telling you 2:52 p.m. when that time of the year come around. They can't wait to say 2:52 p.m. I got it down to the minute. Yeah, 2:52 p.m. Yeah, more. And then put the face on. Yeah, more. 2:52 p.m. All right. What about me first? You know what time he had that thought to say, hey, you know what?
Yeah. Gotta know. Yeah.
That's our Independence Day in a sense. And we have a lot to celebrate, so we should celebrate May. We should celebrate June. We should celebrate July. We should celebrate August. The one's fighting about convention being in September or October. I would have did it in both. You know why? I'm smart. I'd have did it in both.
Hey, look.
Which I want to fight.
Y'all fight over time when time never was, when man was not. You know what I'm saying?
So some of y'all got to get shot at. That's what the problem is. Y'all want to fight, and in reality, you know, y'all don't want to fight. You know what I'm saying? Because really, if it was that big a deal, just do it at both, and everybody be happy. And you bring together the unity. It can be done if you wanted to. You don't want. You don't really want to. You don't really want to celebrate Moorish Independence Day. You want to wear the American flag on July 4th. You want to wear the American flag shorts your girl bought you because she don't go to the temple. So you want to wear the American flag shorts. You want to celebrate July 4th with the family. You want to have a picnic. You don't want to celebrate Moorish American Independence Day. Feel me? It's not what you want to do. Feel me? Because you are going to feel comfortable barbecuing baby back ribs, knowing that John ate fruits, nuts, carrots, and honey. You're not gonna feel comfortable. Feel me? Knowing that man in his utter shamelessness cuts down and eats the beast. Because you don't want to be shameless on the Independence Day, so you just do it on July 4th. Yeah, go ahead and do that, man. I'm Moorish American, so you know, I'm celebrating me first.
Indeed. You mentioned about unity, and we talked about it before. One of the things that, you know, I appreciate what you did. There's a few things I want to take the time out right now to definitely show the acknowledgement and the honors for the work you've done. Of course, you have your Angel in Training TV channel on YouTube, which is still up now, which, as you mentioned, has the What's Your Nationality series, where you just straight up walked up to these guys in the conscious community and asked them straight up, what's their nationality? You know, you've done that, which I want to give you honest, because that about 2 years ago, I didn't tell you, but about 2 years ago, I had a radio show on iHeartRadio, and I decided to name it "What Is Your Nationality?" And in part, it was inspired by what you did. So
that's what's up.
Absolutely, man.
That's what's telling me, yo, you should trademark that so that other Moors don't use it. I'm like, A, that's stupid. B, that's counterproductive. The whole point I did it so that Moors could be asking people that question.
Right.
Like bringing like the pale man's mentality into the Moorish movement, and that's not what it's about. Right. If I wanted money, I'd be charging $99, like brother. You know what I'm saying? All I'm gonna say is B. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna make radical and agitating speeches, but I'm gonna keep it with the Moors. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going because the outsiders is outsiders. Also, whoever fell for that though, But you know, because I'm outside teaching nationality for free, and you still gave this nigga $100. Alright.
Right.
I bet you like tax too, ain't it? It told you tax exempt.
It's crazy.
But you pay tax when you pay for it on the credit card.
Crazy.
May 1st. You know what I'm saying? We not Negroes, color folk, black people, Ethiopians. You cats in San Francisco was talking about the reparations movement. They should know that May 1st, 1913, a man came back to reunite the so-called Negro with the family of nations.
Absolutely.
With our ancient foremothers and forefathers, who were not Negroes, colors, blacks, Africans, but were descendants of the Moorish nation, which consisted of the Moroccan Empire, and whose inhabitation and dominion was, as some know and some don't, the northwest and southwestern shores of Africa, North South Central America, and the adjoining islands. That also includes control of the seas that separated them after the great earthquake which caused the Atlantic Ocean. So, or in other words, we inhabited and dominated those areas before the Atlantic Ocean. That means that our people are older than the Atlantic Ocean. So for people to be trying to grasp and hold on to this Negro and black and colored idea that people who just got here the other day ago made up, it's just so beyond me. That didn't make sense to me in my 20s. It don't make sense to me in my 30s. And it won't make sense to me in my 80s when I'm vegan and still doing wild pull-ups and beating up young whippersnappers for not proclaiming new nationality. It's going to be the same. Like, why are you still doing that?
See, it has to make sense. That's right. It's funny because, well, not funny, but it's interesting that something that's so simple as recognizing the fact that you can't be black, you know, it's truly like I used to tell people, it's like almost like a spell that our people are put under. But, those of us who know, we call with the task to call the people who, with the information and inform them, for those who have ears to hear and eyes to see. And indeed, and you are definitely one of the ones who have been doing it and continuing to do it. And with that, I want to say, we're over the hour mark, but definitely, okay? Toka said, "True Moorish scholar, indeed, true Moorish scholar." So honest. Yeah, that's what it's about here. We bring people who are well studied, from different parts. We're not, this is not a platform for just opinions, and just wild speculations and try to one up on another group of people. Oh, we can debate and all that. Whose God is better? Who God came first? None of that ridiculous.
I'm not debating with nobody. We could fight. I'm not doing none of that.
Right.
I'm outside. I'm in the projects right now. I don't got time for none of that.
In real life, in real time. That's what it is. That's what it is.
Word.
So yeah, we're not entertaining none of that foolishness. So I definitely want to say honest to you more. I appreciate you sharing your time, taking the time out to build with the family. I know the family is appreciating this. Is there anything? Well, definitely let the people know you're on IG. I know when you are on, you do have an IG or whatever, how people can, if they want to connect with you, ask you questions for those who came out here, any last words you want to give to the people?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep it 100. Like, I'll be having IGs, but I'm not really on them like that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna keep it 100, yo. I'm at the space now where I don't even want nobody really to reach out to me. Like, if you're like,
I respect that.
Word, right? You know what I'm saying? I was already I was in that space before, and word, I put a lot of time and effort and energy, but that wasn't really being reciprocated. So, I learned to fall back and really just, concentrate on what's what I could actually handle and manage. So, I mean, if you know somebody that know me, and that means you connected, baby. You know what I'm saying, do your thing. Indeed. But I don't want no strangers pulling up on me, whatever. If you see me in the street, that's different. You could definitely pull up on me. You know what I'm saying? Strangers are going to do that anyway on my side. But,
Absolutely.
Ultimately, yeah, like I'm easy to find. You did.
No doubt. No doubt. And I want to let the people know, look, for those who know, you already put out a wealth of information. So I want to definitely honor that and promote that. Check out Angel in Training TV on YouTube. The Moor got plenty of content, wealth of information. I like, I love your demonstrations. You was in the law library and everything. Like,
My man, RP, my man Gary Bay, you know what I'm saying? All the ones I like, they dying. All the ones that I don't like, they still alive. I don't understand why Allah work like that. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. Niggas I don't like going vegan now. It's crazy. Like, yeah. You know what I'm saying? But yo, RP to my man Gary Bay, real soldier. Always studying, always putting in work, feel me? Like,
Islam.
word, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm glad that specific video in there, brother. That brother was consistent.
Islam.
You know, he was a hip hop pioneer and hip hop historian too. So he was doing things for the Moorish community, not just in the Moorish, but out in the cultural sense, because he was protecting the culture. At the time when he was trying to say hip hop was founded by Caribbeans, and he was like, no, the problem is that you calling people black and Caribbeans is calling themselves black, and then they saying black Caribbeans, but in fact it was black people who are Moorish Americans. And so they trying to take away the Moorish Americans. They're trying to strip the credit from the Moorish Americans because they don't have their identity. So he used the Moorish science to put that together. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's important because that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to take these lessons and then go out there and then propagate, and teach and also defend our science, defend our culture, customs, the things that make us who we are for real. Whether a lot of us know who we are or not.
Absolutely. That's important.
And if there is anything, actually, I want to remind people proclaiming your nationality ain't like a one-time thing. You dig? People proclaim their nationality once and said I proclaimed my nationality back in '98. And I'm like, oh word? 98. That's nice. It was mad long ago. When was the last time you proclaimed your nationality? What you mean? And people don't know, proclaiming your nationality is something that you do, just like when you when you love your wife or you love your husband. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I love them in '98. Nah, you love your husband. You love your wife all the time. You proclaim your nationality all the time. It's like you love Allah all the time, right? You only love Allah on Fridays. I'm saying if you only love Allah on Fridays and Sundays, then do you. But if you love Allah all the time, if you know who Allah is, and you recognize that yourself is Allah, and proclaim your nationality. And if you don't know how to proclaim your nationality, then you need to be around Moors that's proclaiming their nationality. Examples of proclaiming your nationality are holding and having regular conversation with people. And when they ask you your nationality, you say, oh, Moorish American. Or why don't you ask somebody else their nationality? You could wear your fez. And then when people ask you, hey, why do you have a fez on? You can bring up the fact that you're Moorish American. And that's why you wear your fez. I'm saying, if you got a Moorish flag pin on and people say, hey, are you Moroccan? You say, no, I'm a descendant of Moroccans, the empire of Morocco, as opposed to the kingdom, because I'm Moorish American. You would have to know the difference between Morocco and the kingdom of Morocco and the empire of Morocco and being the descendants of Moroccans and what that means and what type of Moroccans and what is meant by that statement. So you should actually go and study so that you can proclaim your nationality, because you don't want to sound like an idiot or a child or like you're informed about your own nationality. God forbid you ask a Dominican something about being Dominican. He's going to put his chest out and tell you how Dominican he is. So you put your chest out and you may tell somebody you're Moorish, you feel me?
Indeed.
They know what you're talking about. So I have my flag up, people come through, like, oh, Moorish flag, you know what I'm saying? Right, you know what I'm saying? You know, when you got a car, something, you got a little V, and you know what I'm saying? You put some Moorish, or you know, wear some shirts that got, you know, you buy some clothes from Moorish people, make clothes. And people go in the Moorish store and all that other stuff, man. That nigga some African B. He not no Moorish American. He not no member of no temple. You got all these members of different temples and all these Moorish Americans making clothes, and you buying shit from Africans because they got more resources to make stuff that look a certain way instead of you trying to help your own people out because you know the difference. You know the difference, but you're talking about is Moor, oh, he's dark skinned. He must be a Moor. You know what a Moorish American is? Not. Support your own people. Spend money with your own people. Finance your own freedom. Use group economics in a practical way, not just in a, you know, in a fantastical, you know, bring it to life and make it a reality. You know what I'm saying? Before you could proclaim your nationality by spending it on the right man before the white man, by spending it on a brother before another. You know what I'm saying? Word. Like, yo, you know, you got like Moorish Americans wearing Jesus pieces. It's crazy. I'm gonna be watching y'all. I'm watching y'all. I be wearing Jesus pieces. I got the Jesus, you know what I'm saying, on the joint. And here I am selling, you know what I'm saying? I got Prophet Noble Joe Ali, and I got the logos. This is not a circle, feel me? Word. And you know, but y'all wearing Jesus, feel me? And Lazarus and all that. Big. And it's like, you know, you want to proclaim your nation, you want people to tell people you Moorish American, and you know, I mean, yeah, you could totally be a good person too, but Moorish Americans ain't the only good people. So you got to be more than a good person. You got to be a good person that's also good looking. That's good smelling. That's good speaking. That's good thinking. And then somebody says, yo, man, you know, you different, man. Something about you different. Yo, why are you so different? And you're like, oh, well, you know, because I know I'm Moorish American. So, you know, I'm not going for some of that stuff. You feel me? You know, my perspective on life in the universe is different. You know, and if you're not proclaiming your nationality, and you have a bay on your name for adornment. Your eel is an and un adorno. I don't know how to say that. How you say it in English? It's a souvenir. It's a oh man. Oh, there it is, a decoration.
Right.
Yeah, bay and an L is a decoration, B. You know what I'm saying? If all you got is a bay and an L on, you know, I changed my name. I got my name. Yeah. And you run around, you got a fez on, and you got a fez. So people know I wear my fez. I got my fez on all the time. You always got your fez on. How many people you brought to temple?
Right.
Are you a member of a temple? Well, there's no temple around me. Praise Allah. Are you calling in on one? Well, nah, I don't want to be in no temple. All right, cool. That's what's up. So are you in some type of community? Are you in communication with some type of group of Moors or organization of Moors that you be around that you can speak to and, you know, share experiences with? Or are you just a Moor by yourself? I'm not saying like before I was like, yeah, go to temple, go to temple, go to temple. I'm not tell you keeping 100 right now. Depending on what temple, niggas will be whacking there. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to find good Moors. You want to find good Moors, good people. You know what I'm saying? Not always going to be Moorish Americans. But when you get a chance to find good Moors, find some good Moors, and then find some good Moorish Americans. And then these, you know, build solid relationships with these people. Be courteous to one another. Love each other. Not in a fake way, but in a like, you know, think about things before you do them, and you know, feel like, you know what I'm saying, yo, word, like I know the difference between the Moors that really love me is how they speak to me, like the tone of voice that they use when they speak to me, you know what I'm saying? I know these brothers got love for me, you know what I'm saying? So I really, you know, I be conscientious of that when I'm building with them, because you know, you know, it's like when you're in the presence of God, you act like it. So act like that with your brothers and your sisters, man. You know what I'm saying? And really just, you know, proclaiming your nationality is not just saying you're a Moor and then making fun of niggas because they calling themselves black. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Be a Moor, but also, you know, be like, yo, be a dope person. Being a dope person isn't difficult. If you can't be a dope person, then just don't be a dick. For me, like that shouldn't be hard. For me, word, you dig? When you know, that's really what I want to stress. If you're not proclaiming your nationality on a regular basis, you know,
Yeah.
Block of Wood could do the same, baby.
That's it. Block of wood can
Yo,
do
we
this.
ain't even going to the Quran, man. Let's go into the Quran fully. G out.
Absolutely.
I thought I didn't know how much time I had, so you know what I'm saying? Or I would have just started. I would have just started with the Quran right quick. I thought I had a little bit. Word, like I don't even really know where I want to go. I let my hand, I always let my hand take me, right? It was like, you know what? I'm gonna do 48, right? The end of time, filling the prophecies, right? But look, but also I'm gonna tell you why, right? Also gonna tell you why too, right? And it's cause look, I know people got mad love for me, right? Even though you got mad love for me, I'm still gonna let you know if you got a fake temple and a fake charter, feel me? And I can keep it between you and me or whatever, but y'all know what's up, feel me? Word. And like, word. May 1st, 1913, I'm saying. And you know what? And praise Allah that you know that I don't got enough time to go there because I might so Discord, feel me? But I don't care neither. But I'm still say this little piece right here, like, because it's already Discord, and that's why y'all not making good music because y'all in Discord. You know what I'm saying? What y'all need to do is get in Discord and have a chat and talk it out, but y'all don't because y'all scared of progress. But anyway, like, there's one temple, right? And if you want to make like something to honor the divine movement, you should be like the prophet and make something. But that don't mean be like the prophet and do exactly what he did and then copy his shit. That's corny. Like, you can make your own movements, like I did with Angel and Training, or like I did with Moorish Harlem, and I just like, you know what I'm saying, or the Moorish cultural, the Moorish cultural social economic education directive. See how it doesn't sound nothing like Moorish Science Temple of America? Did you know you could do that? Did you know that? So anyway, like, trying to make so many different templates causes confusion. Feel me? And like, it's important that it was founded May 1st because this is the divine movement that was founded on May 1st. In my headcanon, I only recognize two legitimate portions, and that these two are somehow in some very weird legal space operating, you know, with similar capacities that if they just put their egos down, you know what I'm saying, and work together, they could literally form one whole organization again. And you know what I'm saying, and they could figure out a way, but they just don't want to talk. And it's so whack, so corny. But you know, all these other joints is popping up out of nowhere, and I'm saying, like, fungi. Y'all need to get the fungi out of here. Feel me? Like, I need to get. I don't even like mushrooms. Keep it on it. And y'all parasites. That's what y'all parasitic organisms sucking the life out of people by using the name of the. But you know, it's a good example. I'm not even gonna say his name, but basically, he did like Mace did and ran to Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? And started whatever he did over there, and got a couple people for a few dollars and dues, whatever. And now he running around saying that he, you know, a descendant of whatever. You know what I'm saying? Some whole other shit. Be like, no feds on nothing. I think he got a Caesar fade now and shit. I don't know. So me, all I can say is like, all I can say is like, y'all. When y'all like y'all want to use the profit for a profit, and then when y'all recognize that that's not gonna have you pay, that's not gonna help you pay your bills, then you're like, well, this ain't gonna help, so I might as well go back to being black. And I can't wait till y'all go back into the state where the prophet found you, because when the prophet found me, I had a fez on already. And a lot of y'all definitely got to go back to the prophet never found y'all. Somebody that looked like the prophet found y'all, and y'all got bamboozled and tricked. Feel me? And now you're looking for some type of salvation externally when the actual prophet told you that I gave you everything it takes to save a nation, I take it to save yourselves. And so I'm going to go into, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to read from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Logos, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his father, God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from the sinful and fallen stage of humanity, back to the highest plane of life of his father, God Allah. For we know thyself in Allah, the genealogy of Jesus. Life and works of Jesus is in India, Europe, and Africa, and the land of Egypt. The name and symbols are covered by copyright and registration. That's one of my favorite parts to read. You heard? I love that part. Covered by copyright and registration. You know what I'm saying? something that people should respect. With the divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, page 59, chapter 48, and the time and the fulfillment of the prophecies. Starting from instruction 1. The last prophet in these is instructions. And you're being instructed in real time through words. The word I was looking for earlier was vicariously experiencing. And so vicariously is instructing you. The last prophet in these days is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared divinely in due time by Allah to redeem men from their sinful ways and to warn them of the great wrath which is sure to come upon the earth. John the Baptist was the forerunner of Jesus in those days to warn and stir up the nation and prepare them to receive the divine creed which was to be taught by Jesus. Instruction 3 says, in these modern days there came a forerunner who was divinely prepared by the great God Allah, and his name is Marcus Garvey, who did teach and warn the nations of the earth to prepare to meet the coming prophet, who was to bring the true and divine creed of Islam, and his name is Noble Drew Ali, who was prepared and sent to this earth by Allah to teach the old-time religion and the everlasting gospel to the sons of men, that every nation shall and must worship under their own vine and fig tree, and return to their own and be one with their Father God Allah. Now, I hope inshallah, now saying I could come back on here very soon so that I could go back in here and I could demystify these spookisms, because this sound mad spooky to somebody on the outside. But if you don't if you don't understand the language that's being utilized, or if you don't have the definitions of the vernacular being utilized, you're not able to comprehend the scope of the thought that's being disseminated and shared with you and expressed with you. I'm saying it's like, it's like two pieces and they don't fit. They can't fit because it has to be more refined further. So I'd like to refine that for y'all another time, because we're not a spooky people and we're not a overly religious people. Neither. I'm saying because Islam because Islam means peace. Peace is the absence of confusion. And there's a mathematical theology and equation for that. We deal with mathematics. See? But I love how it starts with the high science and talking in the high, you know what I'm saying? Because then it comes down and speak, and then the beauty of the prophet, he start talking plain English. And some people would take advantage that he started off really high, and then when he came down to a mundane level to try to act like he was still talking high, but he's speaking very mundane here. He says in instruction number 4, the Moorish Science Temple, and before I could say it, and I do not represent the Moorish Science Temple of America, because they used to make a big stink when I was in my early 20s about that. I don't represent them. They don't represent me, because that was me out there, not them. And I keep it 100 with you. You know that. Go back, go check the videos. So now y'all know my YouTube, and you tell me who was out there. That was me. Whatever 1,000, whatever 900, whatever videos. Chicago, Philly, wherever I went. Okay, that was me. So, so this is not bias. I'm speaking facts. Phil, you can even tell by my tone what's going on, like what's popping with me. I'm saying and whatever. And what I'm saying is actual facts. No matter how nobody feel about nothing or your emotions don't matter. The actual facts is that the Moorish Science Temple of America is a lawfully chartered and incorporated organization. And any subordinate temple that desires to receive a charter, the prophet has them to issue to every state throughout the United States, etc. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. Like, if it's not coming from there or an authority that's from there, then it's fugazi. You can fight me later. Wait till I'm done reading. That the world may hear and know the truth. That among the descendants of Africa, there is still much wisdom to be learned in these days for the redemption of the sons of men under love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. So word of love, truth, like if you got enough love in your heart, you're going to be able to eat the truth. Feel me? And then you be able to live in peace. But a lot of people, they can't accept the truth, so they always in war mode, because they fighting themselves. If you think that you like, even people say, well, I'm not black, but then when I'm Indian, or I'm just like, you running away from a nationality, you running away, like the colonization got you running away from your ancestors. Feel me? And so In the promotion of, honoring your ancestors, instruction 6 says, we, as a clean and pure nation, descended from the inhabitants of Africa, do not desire to amalgamate or marry into the families of the pale-skinned nations of Europe, neither serve the gods of their religion, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. The first religious creed. So that's what I'm saying. Like, the whole thing about knowing that we Moors, the so-called Negro of North America, is the pride of knowing that we the first people. Period. Not the first people that did this, not the first people that brought mathematics, the first people that founded, not the first people that we're the first people. The first people sent. And it say, because our forefathers are the true and divine founders of the first religious creed for the redemption and salvation of mankind on earth. That was the teachings of the higher self and know yourself so that you can redeem yourself and sit yourself back with, I'm saying? The whole point of redemption, you came down here is to go back to oneness with your Father God Allah. That's what all these religions is trying to bring you peace. But the first religion was founded by us. And guess what? Because our forefathers are the true and divine founders, it's only right that it would be brought back down to us by the Holy Prophet Noble Jew Ali. Therefore, we are returning, this is instruction number 7. You do the math. Therefore, we are returning the church and Christianity back to the European nations as it was prepared by their forefathers for their earthly salvation. So if you got lessons, and Yaqub was an original man and the father of the devil. So we make things for them. And we got our own. So why don't we just come back into our own? It says in instruction 8, build and destroy, right? While we, the Moorish Americans, are returning to Islam, which was founded by our forefathers for our earthly and divine salvation. So just in case you ain't get it in the equality degree, we're going to build and destroy upon, the foundation of equality, which what we said was our forefathers founded that. So that's why we're going back to that. We're going back to that so that we can get to where they were. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's a difficult count. I don't think that's why I said that about July 4th. Keeping 100 with you, because July 4th for Independence Day, that's also a day that Moorish Americans are supposed to be celebrating. You just don't know why, and that's why you shouldn't be celebrating, because you're worshiping that which you know not what, and easily led into the wrong direction and hard to lead into the right direction, as opposed to doing your research and knowing why you're supposed to be celebrating Independence Day. Because if you celebrate Independence Day, then you should be celebrating me first, because you couldn't celebrate Independence Day if it wasn't for May 1st. Because you wouldn't know why you celebrating it. It says in instruction 9, the covenant of the great God Allah, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be longer upon the earthland, which the Lord thy God, Allah, hath given thee. Come, all ye Asiatic of America, and hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. Learn of your forefathers' ancient and divine creed, that you will learn to love instead of hate. We are trying to uplift fallen humanity. Come and link yourselves with the families of nations. We honor all the true and divine prophets. So at the end, he's like, he basically wanted to give you a summary of what's up. You know what I'm saying? So he this was the summary. Hear the truth about your nationality and birthrights, because you are not Negroes. I love saying that to people in regular when I be just outside chilling and we be talking. We not Negroes, right? We Moors. We not even black. Like, word. Yeah, word. Whoa, hold on. What you mean by that, my G? And I just start building like on the corner, like in the middle of Harlem, just like, because it's our duty. When we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are not Negroes, color folk, black people, or Ethiopians. That these are names given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasting until 1865 during the time of slavery. When this is a new era in time now, no men now must proclaim their nationality in order to be recognized by the governments in which they live and the natures of the earth. Feel me? Word. Or not. Like, whatever. Like, word. It said, the fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nation of North America need to learn to love instead of hate and to know of their higher self and lowest self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for the teaching and instructing of all Moorish Americans, etc. The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Know yourself and your Father God Allah, that you may learn to love instead of hate. Every man needs to worship under his own vine and fig tree. The United Invasion. So this little pamphlet right here saves you a lot of trouble, but you got to be willing to pay attention to it. And then after you're done paying attention to it, pay attention to yourself. Because the only reason that I knew that today was a special day was because I was paying attention to my Quran. You pay attention to your Quran going to talk to you. It's got more lessons than the 48 chapters that's in here. But you got to be able to read them like that. You got to be able to read them through. I done heard all type of stories. Moors reading the Quran by twos and even numbers backwards. Nigga, do all that. Just read it, man. Whatever. Oh, you know, the Adams told me to read it. I'm saying, I don't care. I don't care. Whatever, bro. Just read it. As long as you read it, praise Allah, son. Because you wilding and you going crazy, son. Just read it and you'll be all right. And so, you know, and there's no maybe there's no other way to proclaim your nationality than to you know, follow the lessons that's in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. You know, and just, you know, walk around and tell, hey man, you know, I hear the Black Power and I love my people. I actually have race pride and I love my race. But you know I'm not black. You know what I'm saying? This is just an uneducated way for me to, you know, recognize myself and refer to myself. And you know, my exposure to scholarly work such as Fellows Children in the New World, Moorish History and Identity in the African American Experience by Jose. You know, the books such as these, you know, they after expanding my mind and, you know, going through the knowledge that's available to me and then doing research on the various people that he was referencing, you know, in his indexes, it's just, you know, it would be unbecoming of me to still refer to myself as a Negro in any language, English, Black, as Spanish, Negro, Latin, nigger. You know what I'm saying?
Indeed.
Moorish French people don't say I'm a Noir Frenchman or Noir Franc. They just say I'm a Franc. They don't say I'm a Noir Franc. They don't do that. That's stupid. You sound stupid. Moors in Germany don't call themselves Black Germans. That's stupid. That's dumb. African, so-called Africans, was now known as Africans in Nigeria, they don't call themselves Black Nigerians. That's dumb. In fact, the word in itself means black. So they're calling themselves black people. Like, they literally got a whole country to call themselves black. And he did that a few times. Stop playing me. But Negro is a name given to a river by Moors because it contains black water. What river contains black water? And why were the Moors there? And why were they naming it in Spanish? And you have a good day. Your nationality, word up. Like, you know, once you do your history and your research and you see like, oh, you know, your enemy is not even who you think you are. A lot of people running around thinking the white man is the enemy. No, the white man is the devil. But, you know, your enemy, you got to go into the lessons and figure that out.
Exactly.
And then he not even white, he pale. Satan, he's Satan because he calls himself God sometimes. Because sometimes he's white, and sometimes he's Irish, and sometimes he's German, and sometimes he's American, and then sometimes he's a sovereign citizen, and then sometimes he tries to tell you that you a sovereign citizen and you go for it, dummy. And then he falls back on being an American when all else fails because he got to bail himself out.
There you
Meanwhile,
go.
for the bail no way.
There you have it. That's it, bro. You dropping it.
Give the European bank what's his. Go back to what's yours. Because Moors invented lawyers. So if you get locked up, go get a lawyer, baby, and try to find a good one. You know, Matt? Because truth don't see nationality. You know what I'm saying? But it's nationalities that must see the truth. You dig? So, and if you really want for your brother what you want for yourself, then you're gonna keep it 100, and I'm gonna keep it 100. You dig? A lot of bad information out there. Dude ain't talked to me in over 5 years and hit me on Facebook, said, yo, Islam, I know we ain't talked for a while, but you got any advice for my brother? He just got locked up. I said, yeah, I got some advice for him. Get a lawyer. And he laughed. And I didn't. Because I'm dead ass. Like, I'm doing stuff to get you locked up.
Facts.
Maybe. You know what I'm saying? And I know that sounds difficult when you're young and in the hood. But we're not young and in the hood no more. We're in our late 20s, early 30s, late 30s, early 40s. Gotta grow the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? Moors are men. Upright and since I'm talking, I might as well read what the prophet says since we got time. Because I sound good, but the prophet sound great. Right quick.
Real quick, I just want to let it be known before you read. Toka World Story says, we're honored to have learned the truth from a true Moorish scholar. So definitely gave that shout out to you. We got the brother Ray Zulueta. Yeah, he says, let me catch the first one. He says, hey, I gotta catch y'all. My brother Lord Murk-el, Shalom.
Shalom, man.
Yeah, peace to all the nobles and queens. So yeah, definitely they're feeling what you're bringing in. So I'm just gonna let you go in and go and read from the words of the prophet. Islam.
In caveat emptor, he said, Moors are men, upright, independent, and fearless, who care for their loved ones and follow the prophet to a destiny which is not uncertain nor unknown. They are fortified by the impregnable doctrine built upon love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It is therefore folly at its greatest height for smelly culprits with their insidious plans to invade such a realm. They try and try, but their own bad planning brings down wrath upon their heads like the sword old Democles had. Intrigue and scurrilous cunnings find a difficult path to travel within the ranks of the Moors. This is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by Prophet Noble Ali, whose latent powers are abundant, unknown, and may be called into action as a matter of defense at any moment. Fuck out of here. Like, I'm not going front B. Anybody who not, like, when you read the words of the prophet and you're not immediately moved to taking the action, like, something is wrong with you. For real, like. You want me to break some science down? I'm going to break some science down right quick. Moors are men, upright, independent, and fearless, who care for their loved ones and follow the prophet to a destiny which is not uncertain nor unknown. Moors are men. That's because the female for Moors is Mooresses. So Mooresses are women who are upright, independent, and fearless. You dig? All right, so let's go. So not to say, so we talking about men and women, you know what I'm saying? But you gotta know that, when you speak in English and we talking about man, we talking about Moors, just to be quick, we talk about the nation itself, man, women, and child, you dig? But you know, but just because, you know, the new feminism got people thinking like real, you know, like, because it should be like duh, but por si acaso, whatever. Anyway, yo, care for their loved ones is so powerful, because that's like a prerequisite. And the science behind that is divine love, and, you know, you in consideration and conscientiousness and desire, you know, to see good and well being of your people. You know what I'm saying? Like, the destiny is not uncertain nor unknown, because it's like, so it sounds good when you say belief, faith, fruition, but in reality, like, if you're a scientist, you can see where teaching nationality and citizenship principles and civics can go, for people who are in our position. It may not be certain the exact point, but if you're a scientist, you can see the vast amount of potential that lies within the educating of people who have been stripped of the knowledge of their nationality along with their divine creed and the five highest principles known to man. That's crazy. Like, you know what could happen? You know, you might accidentally make a world power, you know, within a world power, which would be then kind of like weird, because then they'd be like, which one is the world power? And then, you know, the rest of the world might just be like, well, it's probably the one that was the world power first, because everybody knows who that was, and secretly still is, whether they know it or not. You know what I'm saying? And that's like it's like the movie Ants. Like, I'll be telling people, you know, you ain't flipped the switch yet. You know what I'm saying? You still, like you say, you're not black, you're Moor, but you ain't flipped the switch yet to where you actually recognizing that you are Moor. You know what I'm saying? You don't stand like that yet. Feel me? You don't talk like that yet. Yeah, you might be cursing out some white people every now and then, whatever, some pale people, whatever, but you ain't, you know what I'm saying? That's not getting down, B. That's not getting down. You know what I'm saying? How you know what's really getting down? You outside teaching, where you at? You know what I'm saying? You be on the block. When you on the block, what you doing? What you doing on the block? That's what I'm saying. Like, or you just got these lessons, you be at home. You know what I'm saying? So you got the lessons to be at home? Word? Like, and then like, specifically fake temples and fake charters, like, who be doing things like a weird way. Like, they try, but their own bad planning brings down wrath upon their heads, like the sword old Democles had. And it's like, you know, now you got Moors like getting smacked on the camera, and they not even really Moors, but they call themselves Moors, but they of Moorish descent, but it's like they not actually a Moor, but they call themselves a Moor, and they proclaim their nationality. But when you see what they say, and then when you see what they do, they're not actually Moors, because Moors don't get to go around getting smacked, and especially not by people who call themselves black. Astaghfirullah. Astagh with the extra in it. Astaghfirullah. I'm about to call one of my ox from the store to say it for me. It's so serious. You dig? Bugging. You know what I'm saying? But that's what I'm saying. And that's the type of shit that's gonna happen to you, feel me? Because it's like intrigue and scurrilous cunnings find a difficult path to travel within the ranks of the Moors. And this is so because the Moorish movement has been well planned by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, whose latent powers are abundant. And it's like, yo, when Jesus was like Jesus was saying that, yo, you know, God's capable of things greater than I. Like, when the Prophet Noble Drew Ali trying to really tell people that we all gonna be preaching to ourselves, like our latent powers are abundant, and guess what? They could be called up to our defense at any time, and that's the pale man's worst nightmare. But look, check it. You want some more science? Prophet Noble Drew Ali knows the people within his ranks who are interested. They are vanguard of the movement as the Moorish hordes increase here in America. All of the Moors are active, not passive. A member's interest can only be in one direction, and having traveled over the road years before, the Prophet knows where every member is along the road. A few feet below is another road where schemers work, where traitors grin, and culprits bask in the sun. They think they are on the same road with true Moors, but the Moors are high above on a pinnacle where they might view the destructionists as they fall for the last time and their bones bleach in the sultry midday sun. So really, that go for you newborns who just came outside and thinking that y'all messing with the, like, Moors been outside since the 80s and the 70s. Y'all newborns, you need to chill and mind your elders, B. You lucky that elders is really learning to love instead of hate it. They'd have smacked fire out you young cats wilding out, acting like you know something. Because the elders that was around me, they was raised me. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, we got some really, you know what I'm saying, very well-developed elders around y'all that's letting y'all do all that and all that, you know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't having that. Coming up, them elders with, you know what I'm saying? Especially with the 5%ers. Them elders was not playing with you, son. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I gotta respect y'all. Because guess what? A lot of y'all is making up new stuff and thinking, you know what I'm saying, this, and then y'all following people who was doing the wrong thing too and saying, yo, yeah, that, you know, well, that's why I got a bad excuse. Nah, son, feel me? Like, the road, like, that's the thing. We even got, like, you even got the wrong people on the, you got the wrong people on the wrong road. Like, you got the right people on the wrong road. Now, so you got people that's on the low road who supposed to be up there. And you got people who not even qualified to be up there looking down at the destructionists. You know what I'm saying? And I'm looking down like, yo, son, like, why y'all, I dropped the rope, niggas ignored it. I threw a ladder down, you know what I'm saying? I left, got my money up, came back and sent the helicopter down. Niggas didn't want to get on. They said they're afraid of heights now. Feel me? So you like being on that low road. You enjoy it because it's not as much responsibility. It's not as much with the air is, and it's easier to breathe because up here the air is thinner. Because when you get high enough, you don't got no more air. But as you grow, you no longer need the air because you're no longer bound by the atmospheric conditions of the carnal plane of existence, and then you can start to ascend. Now, that's not what y'all trying to do. Y'all trying to eat chicken sandwiches and shit. Feel me? So I'm saying, like, you want some science? Let's go into the science of being a Moor is about being yourself, and you gotta learn yourself. But if you trying to be yourself in a scanty way, you want some science? How about when you see somebody that's fronting and they feel like they fronting, run. Just run. Because when the Moor stopped me today, he stopped me because I had my fez on and say Islam on. In my head, I'm like, all right, that's a weird way to say Islam, but I'm with it. I'm open to learning something new. And I went over there and I built and I learned something new. Praise Allah, and I learned something new from the Moor. And we built and we exchanged information. And I was like, cool. So you know what? We can exchange more information. We can continue to learn from each other. That's what this movement is about. And then we can take that information and then go out and then we can share it with more people. And you know what I'm saying? I'm just happy even thinking about it that I can still do that. That's what being a Moor is about. Not trying to say, as soon as you meet a Moor, oh well, you don't do it like this, you don't do it like that. Like when I was saying wisdom, will, and love, he was saying some shit in Arabic. And I was like, oh, this is dope. Oh, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? But, being exposed to something new, being open to being exposed to something new, always being open to learning more information. Because Moors are scholars, right? And teachers known contemporarily and in our antiquity, going around the world and teaching and civilizing. So in order to do that, we must also be willing to learn. And who's the best teacher but our own people and ourselves and our experiences? And we got to be willing to learn from one another. I'm saying, but it says, hungry scavengers flying high, catch scent, devour, and leave crying out caveat emptor, cast out the dead carcass. The Moors high above see these plotters, purveyors, the worst that exists, hurl themselves downward by their own works as a hawk's way. And it's like, You don't gotta scavenge and get little bits of the truth and little bits of crumbs and little bits of Moorish science, and then try to put it together and make a little gumbo and then be like, yo, and then put it on the internet. You don't gotta do that for real. Like, you could literally pull up, learn some more science, learn some things about yourself and things that you're good at. Like I knew I like to cook, but because I'm Moorish American, I love to teach people about my understanding of Moorish Americanness. I actually, and I'm vegan. I made vegan food that was based on food that Moorish Americans is known for eating in New York. And I said, yo, this is how I'm going to proclaim my nationality and teach people nationality with vegan food. And niggas was jacking that. They was like, yo, whoa, that's crazy. Yo, why? Oh, I never heard what is Moorish. And they was, so basically black people. Oh, but we not black. Oh, okay, that's interesting. The response, what people did after receiving that information was so crazy. Like, I was dead turning people vegan and introducing them to Moorish science at the same time, and people was dead proclaiming their nationality while converting to stop eating animals and animal products because when you do the research, no matter what you talk about, that humans need a protein, an animal, whatever you talk about, the scientists, or whatever the white man said, fuck all that. You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to be eating on animals, period. And when you go looking at antiquity, you're not supposed to, you see, we wasn't eating animals. That's why Melchizedek was so good, and he 80 something. And whoever as 80s, that's why they can't walk, and they was eating pork, and they was smoking cigarettes and doing all that other stuff. And you trying to tell people they shouldn't be vegan. Niggas that smoke cigarettes. You know what I'm saying? And eat chicken sandwiches. You know what I'm saying? No. You dig? And I say, yo, look, this is it. Because I felt like Moorish Americans should be eating like the ancestors. So I said, you know what? They're not going to start eating fruits, nuts, carrots, and honey. So you know what's a way to get them started? Vegan chopped cheese. Hold that down. You know what I'm saying? And like, I mess with people who later on, they hit me on like, yo, son, yes, and I was fruitarian for a while and all that, son. And I was trying to, you know what I'm saying? One of my mans I know since 2008, he became vegan, because he used to see me always selling my sandwiches, and then when I stopped, and when he see me again, he's like, yo, son, I was so motivated that I started to look more into veganism. I became vegan. But by the time I became vegan, he wasn't around. I was like, praise Allah. This man should have found himself, we could solve his problems best. You didn't need me to help you turn vegan. You just needed your own willpower. And he was like, word. And I was like, yo, when you going to proclaim your nationality? He's like, man, fuck out of here, man. I'm black. And I'm like, all right, I'll see you in a few years. Because if it took you this long to go vegan, we'll see how long it takes you to recognize that you're Moorish American now. And I can wait. Because I got time. I don't plan to get shot again for a long time. So I got time. You know what I'm saying? And I'll be right here when you're ready. You dig? Look. When the prophet announces authority and power, and it says the prophet announces authority and power, forced to make changes, all governors and other officers of the Moorish Temple are hereby congratulated for their past loyalty and fidelity, for I know it will be the same in the future. Because of certain incidents that have risen in some of the temples, which seem to come from the fact that there are those who do not know where the seat of power is vested. The prophet has ordered the following to be published. All authority and power of the Moorish Science Temple of America is vested in the prophet Noble Jew Ali and those whom he appoints to act as in the supreme body. And those whom he appoints to act as in the supreme body. The prophet has the authority and power to expel any officer or member of the Moorish Science Temple of America who willfully violates or refuses to comply with the rules in regard to branch Moorish Science Temple. And such suspensions and expulsions shall stand until in the judgment of the prophet. The members and officers shall have made satisfactory atonement. Prophet Noble Jew Ali had so much love for the Moors that he allowed himself to get chased around the temple while the Moors just watching and do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Moors was over here sleeping with his wife and throwing his shit out and putting it in the street. You know what I'm saying? And that's why you have Moors going around and getting, you know what I'm saying, and ones is getting shot. That's when you know what I'm saying? And then that calmed down for a little bit. After Moors started getting shot, people started calming down for a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And as soon as boy got locked up, people started saying that they was the prophet, and they started having visions and sieges and all that shit. But wasn't nobody the fake prophet when boy was running around with that pound on him. You feel me? It's just so whack, and people so weak. You know what I'm saying? Because they wait until they're so opportunistic. You know what I'm saying? They wait for when The fences are low to strike like predators, like owls and shit. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not no hawk. You know what I'm saying? You a bird for sure. You ain't no hawk. You know what I'm saying? You dig? And yo. Oh, pardon. All officers and members of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and any such rules and regulations of the Constitution shall be in writing, and not at variance with any law of the city, town, or nation which the prophet shall declare law. And this will also, you gotta also like pay attention that a lot of these cats they be doing stuff is, listen, breaking the law, that's like very ambiguous, you dig? But I'm saying like when you out there, literally like there's people out there talking about temple stuff and then trying to mix in stuff that's like patently illegal and it's very dangerous, and it's like, and then you sending good people down, the wrong path. And the worst part is some of these cats mean well, they just don't know no better, don't know no different. So, the like brothers, I told Brother Sherman, like, yo, brothers like Sherman Hill gotta put more people out, like Sid and A.A. Rashid, for example. And more that's not talking that stupid shit, but these teaching science, actual science, you know what I'm saying? Because what's going to save you isn't going to be the stuff that make you feel good. What's going to save you is the stuff that make you uncomfortable and make you question yourself, and make you question your life decisions, and make you question your future decisions. And inshallah, it'll be for the better. Because if all these fake temples and all these fake charters was to just chill out and then go join an actual temple and just stay in there for like 2 years, 3 years, and then they got their own branch temple. And I mean, I'm talking about the whole temple was unified, just it was like one temple. And we was all like, yo, listen, we all gonna get together and respective locations, we gonna get like a little nice political block. And let's just, start figuring out what it is that we want to do. And let's start up some businesses, let's start up some organizations, you know what I'm saying? And we'll incorporate them, and we'll do some things in the community, and then we'll start getting government grants and federal funding, and we'll just start saying Moorish American this, Moorish American that, and then we can start proclaiming our nationality by doing things in the public arena, in the public realm, using government funding because we're broke, duh. And we're gonna start to do some actual good in the community while proclaiming our nationality and having something that can be either later inherited by via privatization, or still be used and utilized by the community well after you pass. So that's something that's like long-term investment. You're talking about something that's going to last 100, 120, or 200 years, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? And we're talking about systems set in place in our communities via these government funds that are being executed by the organizations that are, founded by these Moors who are all just coming together. They might not all get along, they might not all like each other, but they at least, say, hey, you know what, we're all Moorish American. We love we love Allah and the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We honor all the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius. And inshallah, y'all not spooky, because we definitely don't need no spooky motherfuckers in no political offices. You know what I'm saying? But if as long as inshallah y'all all scientists, Moorish scientists, then y'all can say, yo, you know what? We're gonna start educating our people and getting them real civilized, so they civilians and they learn the law, and you start putting Moorish Americans into the various political offices that are available in your locale, and then legislation starts getting pushed to make life better for Americans, but Moorish Americans specifically. And then you could actually start a national movement. And what's stopping that? And some people don't know where the power is vested, where the seat of power is vested in. And they're using that as the sole crux and reason to not do the aforementioned in the last 90 years or so. 90 something years. So I'm not because I'm not a good I'm not the guy to be talking about having good moral standing and all that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really gonna go into the prophet of spoken, because the Moors, as far as I know, the Moors, they know what they got to do as far as in the temples. But really, like outside, and in between, you know what I'm saying, really gotta like, because you're making it more difficult, I feel like, for the Moors you know what I'm saying, in the other time. And then, you know, some of y'all older cats, making it real difficult for us younger Moors who just want to be Moorish American and don't want to get caught up in your little, like, y'all not Bloods and Crips, and we're not born into your little egotistical bullshit. Feel me? You need to stop brainwashing these young Moors into that, because Moors is coming in, and I'm saying like, oh, you part of this Kirkman be something. I'm like, hold on, my nigga, you 23. Don't even start like talking like that. You feel me? Like, you need to chill, like dead ass. You need to relax. Oh, I know you ain't know it was like that. I'm saying Brooklyn, like you need to relax. Talk to me like, you know what I'm saying? Like you don't really know nothing. You just got here. You a newborn. You feel me? You need to relax, and then start building on the science. I'm like, oh, well, I didn't know that. You didn't know that, so that's why you need like not talk. You need to talk like you speak like you want to learn, not like you've been like not like you're learning, because your aging experience don't your aging experience match, and sometimes they don't, but in this case it did, and it's like, you know, I'm trying to find some type of reason a lot like another Moor, not like more no unity, you know what I'm saying, and shoot, like that's really was the whole key, was like just the unity. Like, we don't got no money, we could get money if we united. If you know, if we need, if we got issues, you know, with shelter, and we united, and we got you know, social issues that we got. I'm looking for the part where it says, I'm saying that, I think it's in the front where it says that the subject to the subject to the treatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. Someone help me out. Help me out.
Oh yeah, you talking about divine warning by the prophet for the nations.
Citizens of all free national governments, according to the national constitution, are all of one family, bearing one free national name. You wouldn't notice if it wasn't for May 1st, 1913.
Right.
Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. Yo, in the comments right quick, just in the chat right quick, if you know, you know, just give me your best answer. Yo, what is the free national name of our constitutional government? Let me just get some answers. Let me get the free national name of the Moors constitutional government. You know what I'm saying? Because the Moors have a constitutional government. Do you know that we do? And if you know the name, we get the name of it. And so, and it is a sin for any group of people to violate. It is a sin. That's crazy.
Okay. You got brother. Let me see. Here we go. Ali Bey says Act 6. So what he said. He said that's my main man, Lord Murk-el. Keep going. You're doing well, right? Islam.
You know what I'm saying? And it is a sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and the principles that allude to slavery. You know what I'm saying? So if you put your answer in the chat, I hope you did already. Everybody else, but so we American citizens, we part and partial to the American Constitution as well as any other American citizen. We're not Negroes, we're not blacks, we're not coloreds, we are Americans. And specifically, we Moorish Americans, because we know our national and we know our citizenship. And we are teaching our people their nationality. And then, so we out here teaching people your nationality is Moorish American, because you got a citizenship here in this country. And you have a national lineage that is your flag. Your flag is over 10,000 years old. Some say it's over 50,000 years old. That's important for you. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, no, actually the free national name of our constitutional government is the the Constitution of the United States of America. You know what I'm saying? And I'll read this again. The citizens of all free national governments, according to their national constitution, are all of one family bearing one free national name. That's the English, that's the French, that's the Mexicans, that's the Cubans, that's the Argentinians, Brazilians, that's the Italians, that's whoever you want to say, Bahamians. Everybody got a free national name. And it says those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classified as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. I'm going to give you, and this is probably wrong, but I'm going to give you an example. So one of these little Spanish kids from like Salvador, Venezuela, or Mexico, or some stupid shit like that, was pulling on her hair or whatever, and try to say something about her being a monkey, right? So she said, yo, you know what? I could call ice on you, and I call I get my little $20 PC and go buy me some tacos. And I said, hey, next time a nigga say some monkey shit like that, hey, you tell him, and what you gonna do is you gonna, when you get them nachos, you finna put some nacho cheese on them so that you can remind him that it's nacho country. You dig? And she laughed. She's a little girl, you know what I'm saying? But she was laughing. She's like, yo, I'm gonna go to school and do this. Like, yeah. They gotta know you think you wanna come with all these jokes. Come with jokes about your citizenship. And why don't you joke about how you're a citizen? And you joke about how your name, and they want to make jokes about being late. You say, actually, no, I'm a descendant, you know what I'm saying, ancient Moabites. So, and you coming from, you know what I'm saying, wherever your people coming from, I don't even know. Do you even know? What was the name of your people before Mexican? And watch them be stuck. They want to try to say Inca, Aztec, or something. Be like, oh, yeah, well, show me that. Show and prove, because I could show, you know what I'm saying? And they going to see it's not a joke anymore, because they was joking. It's all jokes when you're black. But now that you got a nationality, and now you questioning their nationality, and it's like, well, when was the last time Mexico won a war? What? Well, yeah, I mean, if I'm a monkey, when was the last time Mexico won a war? Because I know the last time that America was lost a war was in 1865. We lost to ourselves, and we haven't lost to. So basically, nobody can beat us but ourselves. Then we beat you like shortly after beating ourselves, and that's why you guys are still trying to get back over to your ancestral lands, which were actually leased to you by my people prior to our people being defeated by ourselves. And watch them go, what? And she was like, wait, I'm writing this down. Word. Yeah, because you know what I'm saying? When you know your nationality is powerful. But and now, because she knows the citizenship, he and all those other kids, they're gonna be subject, you know what I'm saying, to all the little jokes that she got now. Because she's a citizen and they just got here. And so imagine you being from here and not acting like you from here and getting treated by people who not from here, who agree that they're from here, that you ain't from here. And so treat you like you ain't from here. That don't make no sense. It don't even make no sense when I try to say it. I almost mess myself up. Like, that's what I'm saying. How are you falling for that? I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from their sinful ways and go back to that state of mind, to their forefathers' divine and national principles, that they will be law-abiders and receive the divine right as citizens, according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. And going back to that mindset, that mind state, the Moors created constitutions. We created the idea of citizens having rights so that they wouldn't be abrogated. And when we defied our own principles, we rebelled against ourselves time and time and time again. Trying to establish these same principles. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. So what he's saying is that because the corporation, the idea was encapsulated in physical form as a corporation, and because people recognize America, they must then recognize the corporation, because the corporation is as valid as the country. Let's go. You want some science? Let's go to chapter 1 of the Holy Quran, the Moorish Science of America, right there. You want some science? Hold on. You know what I'm saying? Because it goes from the metaphysics to the physical, and you got to be able to go from the land of fleshless things down to using to the plane where you can use the tools of the workshop of the mind, and then come down to the physical plane and things we manifest in order to utilize these concepts and ideas in a practical physical form. Now, seeds are instructions you want to define. Chapter 1, divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, chapter 1, the creation of fallen man. On the bottom, last paragraph, it's on the bottom of page 4, says, now, seeds are perfect, yeah, as perfect as the source from which they come, but they are not unfolded into life made manifest. The child is as perfect as the mother is. So man, the seed, must be deeply planted in the soil that he might grow, unfold, as does the bud unfold to show the flower. The human seed that came forth from the heart of Allah was full ordained to be the Lord of the plane of soul and of the plane of things made manifest. So Allah, the husbandman of everything that is, threw forth this human seed into the soil of soul. It grew apace, and man became a living soul, and he became the Lord of all the kingdom of the soul. Now, what I'm saying is that the Moorish Science Temple of America was just a seed, and the seed was planted in the soil that it may grow, unfold as the flower does from the bud. You dig? And so we, the Moorish Americans who know we're Moorish American, due to the seed that was planted May 1st, 1913, that came from an uncircumscribable thought, an infinite thought that was made physical form, that is still around 110 years later. Know what I'm saying? And through it, they and their children can receive the divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government, and not under a granted privilege, as has been the existing condition for many generations. Because once you know you're an American citizen, all you have to do is say, I'm an American citizen. Who's going to tell you you're not? Can they prove you're not? They can't prove when they made you a citizen, because if they did, then they would have to agree that you were there during the founding of the country, and therefore you're a citizen with primogeniture status. You were a citizen first. You were the first citizen, because you didn't naturalize over here. You didn't have to repatriate or expatriate. The Moors never had to expatriate. They never had to say, oh, well, we no longer, we're severing ties with our people in order to be American now. That was never a prerequisite for our nationality. That was a prerequisite for everybody else. So they seen that and said, well, we devised a plan to take the feathers off their heads and the sandals off their feet. And then you got the Odd Fellows Convention, you know what I'm saying? And there you go, you know what I'm saying? And, got the ball rolling. So, that's why our Independence Day is a faux Independence Day, because, we lost the knowledge that we were citizens, but never the citizenship itself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's important that you mentioned that we were never, we never had to expatriate. You know what I'm saying? We were here already, and the Prophet already taught that. So that's our flag right there.
Had to expatriate.
That's right.
We never had to forsake the Prince of Morocco, because we founded this country with the Prince's blessings, because this was the inhabitation and dominion of the Moorish Empire already, of the Moorish nation, Moroccan Empire to be specific. And so you know, when you realize that America is the Moors' country, like I'm not certain why Moors think that, you know, like I don't know how you misconstrue that, but Prophet Noble Drew Ali is saying that we're citizens of this country and this country is ours. May 1st, 1913, today is the culmination of 110 years of so-called black people being reunited with the fact that they were never black, Negro, or colored, and have been citizens of the United States of America since the inception of the country.
Absolutely.
Maybe I should have started with that, but it took me a little while to get warmed up. You feel me?
Oh, Mo, you got there. That's all as well, Mo. Appreciate it. You dropped so much to the people, and let me see, they loving it. Islamism, Tokas said fire, got the fireballs up in there. So we came up in the 2 hour point, you know what I'm saying? And we had a great conversation, great demonstration by my brother, Lord Murk-el. Again, gratitude, appreciate you, you know, taking the time out and sharing the wisdom. And I appreciate everybody for joining us. And until next time, to everybody, divine peace and love. Peace and love, Moors. Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.